Hey guys, today we are going to explain the episode 8 of Love Next Door. If you have not seen the previous episodes, then you will find the link in the description. In the previous episode we saw that 𝗙𝗴𝗲 had confessed to her. 𝗙𝗴𝗲𝗱𝗁 Shaving also sees this, and later she starts working and is lifting the cooker, but it got burnt. Then 𝗙𝗴𝗲𝗁 comes near her and says that you are fine. Then he holds her hands and starts drinking water, but she also says that I am fine. She tells 𝗙𝗴𝗲 that why are your hands hot? He says that it happens that my body releases more heat, I have to go to the hospital, but she refuses and says that it is not a big deal. I was telling you to be careful, I am worried about you. She says she is. He asks her, why would you worry? Don't you know why I am doing this? I also know what kind of time you are going through. You have just come out of a relationship, so I will give you some time so that you can tell me how you feel. Next in this we see Oshu, who comes to her house and first gives it to 𝗙𝗏, but he is not in his room. Later in this she comes to her room and tells her that she had told him earlier that she had brought a gift for him. Later in this she checks it. There is a small letter with happy birthday written on it. Along with it there is a necklace too. Later in this she wears it. Next in this we see Oshu, who had come to her house. 𝗙𝗏𝗲 is saying to 𝗙𝗏 that what are you doing? You had said earlier that today is an important day because I had said that, but I made a mistake. I thought everything was over for them too, but it is not so. Next we see 𝗙𝗏𝗃, who is at her home and looks at herself in the mirror, and then she sees the past, which is of her childhood. 𝗙𝗏 comes to her and says that, are you really not going to run here? She says, I will not do this. 𝗙𝗏 says that, why is 𝗙𝗏 saying that? I am scared of water. When I go in the water, I feel as if someone is pulling me down. 𝗙𝗏𝗃 then puts her hands on her ears and says that whatever you are hearing now, you will hear it in the water, so there is no need to be scared of the present. I do the same thing with my hands on my ears, and here I say to myself that maybe he doesn't know this thing, but I liked him before, but as I grew up I forgot about it, but these feelings are still alive. Next I see 𝗙𝗏𝗃, who is in his room, and I am saying to myself what I have done. I should not have told him that I have acted in haste, but later I say that I have done a good job. If he has taken out the chalk, then he should have cut something. He was losing his mind and going mad because of it. I did the right thing by telling him, but how will I face him tomorrow? Same I see 𝗙𝗏𝗃, who is in his room, and she is also meditating, but there is no use. 𝗙𝗏𝗃 lifts the curtain and says to himself. He thinks that she has fallen asleep. Later he covers the curtain. She lifts the curtain and she was about to throw the stone. But she doesn't do so, she keeps talking to the curtain. For a long time, she keeps lifting the curtain again and again. Later in the morning she sees that 𝗏 has to go to work. And he says to himself that I couldn't even sleep. Later 𝗏 comes to the kitchen. He comes here. Aishu also comes and sees him. And here she says that you look tired. You are having trouble in the field, Sonny. But he says that no, I am busy in work. 𝗙𝗏𝗃 later looks at the necklace and says, did you like it too? She says that I was waiting for this. That you would ever notice it. 𝗙𝗏𝗃 says, I am feeling so happy next time, and I will get up better too, I promise. I am also feeling like this later, and because it has come. 𝗙𝗏𝗃 says to his father, where were you yesterday? It was my mother's birthday. Because forgive me, I forgot. Yashu also says that it is okay, birthdays are not that important. 𝗙𝗏𝗃 later asks him to have food together. But Kyon refuses and says, I have to rest. We see Sho, who is at home, or she looks at herself in the mirror, and this she says that I have bulges under my eyes. Guri also says that I will look good later. She sees the tie lying nearby, and Chaein says that who cleans the blood from the tie? I should return his tie. She looks at Dojo, who is talking to his mother, and says that have you ever thought of investing? She starts talking about social media and talks about becoming popular, but then Dojo comes to her and says that what nonsense are you talking about? You should not act like this. You are a good kid. She starts fighting with Dojo, but her mother says that don't do this in front of me in the morning. Dong-chan had gone there. Miss Yu also says to Dojo that, why are you wearing clothes? 𝗙𝗏𝗃 says that only Miss Yu later also says that you have put perfume on, but 𝗙𝗏𝗃 denies and comes out of the house. Just then 𝗏 is also coming out of the house. Both of them see each other. 𝗏 says that I had a good sleep, this too was relaxing. And she says that I slept comfortably. I did not think of anything. 𝗏 also says that I also slept comfortably for a moment. I slept and later when I woke up it was morning. 𝗏 Then Guru gives him the tie. He also takes the tie. Says that you said that you will wait. I can take time for this. No, I did not say anything at all. You can think about it comfortably. Says that does it have any expiry date? She says that she will be there, I don't know, for how many years you will keep thinking and will answer me later. It doesn't happen that she also says that it's okay. Later they came to the store, they were looking for such an item in the store which fits the Siga, which means that in how many days that item will expire, the Siga will have that many days to think about it. You will have to tell later how she feels here. Seva looks at us for a moment and keeps looking at him, but later suddenly runs away like this. Se goes and sees that the doubt is not here. In the past time she comes near him and here. She says that I have been doing all this. It has been a long time since you have been doing all this here. Don't mess it up. Se says sorry later. He came to the office and this is his Nayeon. He comes with mango. He brings something to eat for them. Nayeon takes a box and says I liked it. But Se takes it and says that it is mine, but Nayeon says I like banana. Ju Sangu says yes and later he is smiling and goes Nayeon. He also says to Bangu that why did he smile like this, I have fallen for him. He has gone. Next we see Dano together. He is young, also young Dano. She looks at the article and says that what you have written on the paragraph buttocks is also interesting and says that I am going to work with them for a day so that I can know about their work and later I can write more articles for them. Youngin says where are you going first? In the next scene we see that Dan has arrived at Mohim's place and meets Mohim here and tells him why he is here. Mohim says that I don't think this is right. You will not be able to go in the ambulance here and you will not be able to lift any goods. But Dan is doing workout later. Mohim says what are you doing? Dan says that I am clearing your misunderstanding. I am working on my stamina. Mohim is confident. She looks at his hands and says, I understand you can stand. In this Dano is saying whom I have to meet to get permission. Next in this Dano is meeting Mohim's mother. He also said here you can do this and you can print articles for me. Mohim here. But she will help you. Mohim was also standing nearby. And here she says that I will do it. Mohim also says to herself, why don't you tell me that this is Tamil and Za? Next in this we see Gus who comes to the shop to work. And here he sees that things are not in their place. I did not leave them here like this. Next they see the real estate. They are watching the drama. She tells Mishu that there is an issue regarding. Here she says that it is a romantic drama. Later Mishu gets a message, which was sent by Juju saying, I want to meet you later. We see in the drama both the casts are at their place. Here we see that there is a servant here. Arjun is there with him. Both were doing their work. Chakra was talking on the phone. But her phone battery was dead and she did not have a charger. But then Arjun says I have a charger. You can use it later. Chakra takes the charger. And Apri also says that I am going to ruin our fun with you. What will be the problem? But Apri says no, I have earphones. Next we see Anjan who is in the cafe and is waiting for Mishu. Later Mishu comes to him. Anjan asks Apri what would you like to take? Mishu says I have not come to meet you. What you want to say? Tell me. I don't know what happened between you two. Who cheated whom? How did your engagement break? Why do you hate each other? But Arjun says I don't do that. I love you with suspicion. Here we see Gussie who is passing by, but then he sees Vishu and realizes that Anjan is in the cafe. Next we see Shakur who is in her cooking class. He also texts her and says that she sends a photo of an item and says that it is going to expire in so many days. You have time to think. Sovak also shouts and says that she was seeing this only on the first day. She also says sorry, but teacher says that it is nothing. Everyone has woken up by your shouting. Next we see Mishu who comes to her house and faints in front of her. She asks Mishu what has happened. She faints. She says that she knows from where she has come. She meets Arjun. Why did she do this? She cannot fool me. Mishu says that she received a message from him and asked me to meet. She faints. What has he said? Mishu says that he said that he too loves her and wants to take her to his place. He is also shouting and saying that why did she say that I can't give her? This but 𝗎𝗍 says that I want this. She says what kind of daughter is drinking? Don't you know what kind of drink your daughter takes? Are you going to sell her? But 𝗎𝗍 says that I am not doing that. I just want to sell her to Sugar. I don't want her to become like me. She goes to a bar and lives in poverty. He goes and whoever comes from the front says namas to each other first but later says that you would like to have a drink. They come to the next shop and now they are drinking and are drunk and they take care of their families. Talking. There was food kept in front of Uj. He was talking about it and saying that. Whose food is it made? Gaj would have told who it is made. But Kaj was repeatedly asking questions that. Why is it made and was repeatedly saying why? And was asking questions after questions to Ger. He also got irritated and was saying that. Why are you doing this? I don't want to drink alcohol. We should have seen the next 𝗍 who. She comes home and looks at her stuff. Later 𝗍𝗏 also comes to Kang Jung. She says okay you have kept it here. But Kang Jung refuses. He is drinking water and remembers the scene of last night. He remembers what else he had talked to. Next we see 𝗎𝗍 who is cleaning the utensils. Dong Jin comes to her. He is helping her 𝗎𝗍 says. What happened? Dong Jin says nothing. I am just helping you. I will talk about investment later. Talks about social media and how to become famous. We can buy followers with money. We will and will become famous later. She hits him near her and later Kang Jung. She is taking him away and he also shouts at her. And was saying what are you doing, you are a curse too. She says how can you be so immature? Can you be so immature that I don't have any pity on my mother? She says how can you take money from your mother? You should do some work, you are completely. You are jobless. Dojin is telling his sister. It seems you are not different from me, Shivka. She says what did you say? You say it again. She is about to hit him again. But tells her mother not to do this. Stop fighting here. Later Dojin. She sends her husband like this. Dojin talks to her mother. And says has he done this before also? Has he taken money from you? You should not give him money but here. 𝗎𝗍 says that since childhood he has a hole in his heart. So what happened? Has the doctor said that you should not make him cry otherwise his surgery will not be done. You can take him. Mishtar is crying. How can you give it to me? Mummy tells Subi that we should not have children and later you will come to know that when a child gets sick like this, what should be done? How should we save our child? Shivguru says that she is taking his side later. Shivguru had gone to 𝗍𝗏𝗃's body who sends a message to 𝗙cie and says that you have only a few days left and sends an emoji along with it. She also sees 𝗙cie who sees the message and later sees the emoji and smiles and says that he has done this for the first time. Then Unju comes in front of him and says that something good has happened. At the same time, Tai also comes to 𝗙cie and says, what are you doing? But he says I am not doing anything. Later they had left. In June, Sharu is talking to Guru and says that I have brought this drink for you. Before it gets cold. Drink it now. I am going to start from the beginning. Now we see the past scene. This is the same scene which we saw earlier. Sharu had done her work later. Says and here she says that you were looking very busy before. You gave me the charger. Thank you for that, Sharu. Later I was feeling hungry and here Paj notices. And later he says that. Would you like to eat food? Let's go somewhere. Outside, she also says that it is okay. But then Anjan comes to her and gives her the drink. Sharu says what is it? Ju says it is tea. It will be good for your health. Shaka smiles later. In the present Anju is saying. That is the same tea. Now I have to start from the beginning. I want you to smile like before. Sko later he had gone to the meeting. The next time Tai sees that Sangu also happens with coming out of the meeting. First let's talk about the meeting, what happened inside, and Sko says that I told Shaka how I feel. Then both were sitting outside. Tai says what did he say, but he says that I am waiting for him. What will Tai say later? She says that maybe you will be left out. Sko tells you not to say such things. I am burning with my heart. Later Tai says that that's why people say that a man Should not be a friend, but 𝗙𝗴𝗲 says that I have never seen 𝗙𝗴𝗲 as a woman, I have seen her only as 𝗙𝗴𝗲. 𝗙𝗏𝗲 says, what will happen to me? Am I being left alone? But maybe the same will happen with you. You will also be duped because Yoo Je Won and Jan looked close together and Jan was hot too. But Shingo says that there is nothing like that. Later Tai goes to the nearby restaurant. 𝗙𝗲𝗄 says okay, you are free. Next, 𝗙𝗏𝗄 is seen taking out her money and later she goes on a walk, but then she sees that there is a mask here along with 2-3 women who come out of a place. Miso also asks Mala what is this place. Mala told her that she teaches cooking here. She sees Gus who is in his shop. A boy also comes to take food but Gwon saves her. He says you can't take it today. Because it has become wet. Later runs away. 𝗙𝗏𝗄 comes and tells what happened next. In this we see 𝗙𝗴𝗲 who comes to her house and sees her here. That it happens here, she says, you here? What are you doing here? He says. That 𝗏𝗏 had called me, don't know who. Was talking about proposal. Later 𝗙𝗴𝗲 is there with goat and asks where is he. Later his parents come here. 𝗙𝗴𝗲 tells his mother that now she knows what 𝗏𝗏 has done. His mother snatches his bag. 𝗙𝗴𝗲 had told him what is it? I am learning to cook 𝗙𝗏𝗄𝗏. Asks if you use it for this also. 𝗏𝗏𝗲 she also fills her pockets and says that I have more, there is no place. I am sorry for this. Later 𝗙𝗏𝗄 says. It happens that you have worked in America for years, you have so much experience, what about all of them? But 𝗙𝗏𝗄 had said that all of them will have to be let go because I want to follow my dream. But 𝗙𝗏𝗄 says later that we have always appreciated you, but now it is not like that. Now you are a fool, you cannot do such things. Do you think you will be able to do this work? Later, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 also comes and says what happened. That again 𝗙𝗴𝗲 is there, 𝗙𝗴𝗲 is also shouting. And here she says that 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was about to do this in the past, but he ran away from wherever he was going. He did not do anything, you did not tell him anything, he wanted to do what he wanted. But I am asking, miss, why can't I do this? She is asking, miss, why did you not tell us? She had said that I am going to get the certificate. She was going to tell you later. But she says that she had her own reasons, that is why she must not have told us. 𝗙𝗏𝗄 says you also knew that this is also a crime, and she is saying sorry, but she is saying that it is not her fault. This dream is mine, isn't it? She says in the conversation that it is okay, you can do whatever she wants, but you cannot do this work. I have already accepted this work and see where I am going to do this work today. It looks good, but in real life this does not happen. Later, 𝗙𝗏𝗲𝗏 goes out. She also comes along. She is a 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. She is following me. Don't do it. But she holds her hand and later brings her to the office and says this here. It happens to me whenever this happens to me. I want you here. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 says you are here. When did you come? Did you come with Tai? But she says it is because of business. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 looks at her husbands and catches them, and she also asks their names. What is the matter? Later, he is telling her and giving her a console and also saying that sometimes parents can also be wrong. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. They ask you, how did you tell me what your parents have a fight? But he says that no. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 says I am getting bored of your family. You don't have any brother or sister. I don't know when 𝗏𝗏𝗏 will grow up. Now where will I cook food? 𝗙. Is it possible you can come to my office? There is no one there, all have gone on business trips. But 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 says I can't do this, so I will use my power. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. The test has been taken. He says that I am the president of that. Did you say? If yes, you will practice there, otherwise you will not. You will practice here. I will practice later. He also says here that you have 9 days left. Later, Guru runs away. 𝗙𝗏𝗏 is chasing him. He sees Mahim along with Dano. He meets Dano also with the paramedic. Later, Mam Dano explains the work and tells him all the instruments. Then an emergency came to him and he left. Next, we see 𝗙𝗏𝗄 who is at her home. And here she remembers that earlier 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 had brought food here and he was eating. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the food was very good. I liked that food, but I did not eat it. Later she brings the boy out of the room. She is eating, but then Jang comes there. She sees that Jang sets the table for her later and gives her food. Yashu says that you are not going to eat. He says that no, I have to go to work. Yashu will eat later. She says thank you because he had left. Yashu had received a message in which it was written that your son has grown up. He is thinking about what I had done. Next we see Mahim together. Dan is there with his team. They were also saving a man nearby. The chief is there next to him. She brings us here. Sister says we have done a very good job. Mahim 𝗵𝗻 sees this and she says that this is not the case with you. You should get yourself treated, but 𝗵𝗻 says that I am fine, but Mohim, I have insisted on getting treatment, he says. When you get hurt then. If you don't do this then why should I do this? Later Mohim says this. Mohim also says this. She asks why are you taking my name? Dano says what else should I say? Should I call you Mrs. Paramedics later? A team member comes to her and says, I have got a call from another place. She asks me to go to the witch later. I had come here and saved the patient. We go to many places like this and saved the patient. We see the next person. There is a man who had also come to the theater. He tells us that he had come here earlier also. The man says that you had come with your parents, but he says that no, I had come with my friend. Later he came out and he calls the doctor and says that there is no one in the office. You can go and practice. He also says that it is okay. Later, the doctor comes out of the house and walks on foot. But then someone comes ahead. He sees the person who is coming to the office. But then he sees that the doctor is there. He comes with him. He looks at Says and says, what are you doing together? You can't chase the doubt like this. I can complain about you to the police. He is going to do this later. But here Inju says that I have come for counseling. He looks at him and says that you have come here. Later everyone is inside the house. Later Sega gets up and says to himself that what have I come to do here? He is talking to Junior and says that I want to build my own house. My parents are going to retire soon and they are going to come here. Mangu also says that it is okay. Then he gets a call from Mangu and tells him that he had gone to tell him that his daughter has eaten something. He later tells Sha that I have to go, my daughter ate this thing. You have to talk to the engine later. I had gone. He also tells Sha that I know that counseling has been done. But here he says that no, I am really going to stay here. I tell Sha that I have no intention of taking your work. Jan says that this is bad. I heard from Sha that you are a good architect. Sha asks, why are you taking his name again and again? Yes, everything is over for you too. But Sha says that it is not like that. Nothing has ended between us. Our relation is very strong and it will not break easily. Sha had told Sha that only you think about your past. I am not here to know. Later Sha comes to Sha and says that you have completed your work. Along with that, Injun also comes and starts talking. He says to Sha, what are you doing here? You can't disturb him like this. But Jun says that I am not doing that. I am just waiting for him so that both of them can walk together. Both of them start arguing. Sha says to both of them that you can keep quiet so that I can do my work. Both of them sit next to each other and start talking. Later Sha offers popcorn, but Sha takes it and says that don't eat such things. But Sha takes it. Later Sha says that when we were in the theater, we saw a movie. I remember the thing, I remember. Later both of them say the same line together, which was told in the movie, seeing them. He is watching this, Mohim is watching. Then his team is with him, he also has his own place. But the boss also came to them and asks them to have food. Later, they come to the restaurant and are having food. And here the topic of dating comes up, everyone is talking about themselves. It happens, Dano is also asking Mohim. But Mohim had said that he has no intention of dating. But then 𝗙𝗿𝗲 says that she had seen a man on Salt who was picking up a car from the road and since then she likes him. Later Mohim and Dan do a good job. To see this Shokat alone see she has cooked food. She sees that she has eaten food and eats together. Both of them also start eating but then they see that something has happened to 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝗄. Later he comes to her and says, are you okay 𝗖𝗿𝗄𝗄? My stomach hurts. I am in pain. Sha says that I will take you to the hospital but 𝗖𝗂. She tells Arjun to take her to the hospital. Go later, he does this here. Seo was also watching both of them leaving. In the next scene, 𝗙𝗂 is in the hospital, Arjun. 𝗙𝗂 had brought the medical records, 𝗙𝗂 told. He had told me that I had surgery a year ago. I had stage 2 cancer in my stomach. So guys, now we will meet in episode 9 which is coming on Sunday. Till then, 𝗍𝗲.